Hey, welcome to Delores Jones TV. Today, I want to talk to you about 3 reasons why women underestimate our value. That's right. So call a frenemy, whomever you need to call. Let them know that it's time to get real. We're going to talk about the 3 ways that women underestimate our value. And when we underestimate our value, that means we settle for less. We just accept any and everything. But I want to let you know, I want to help you accept the fact that you're great before it's too late. So once again, Delores Jones is my name. Feel free to go ahead and visit my website, Delores Inspires Me, or DeloresJones.com. I'm also the author of a book called Stop the Dumb Stuff. And I don't think it's wise for us to underestimate ourselves. So let me give you number 1. Reason number 1, women underestimate themselves, I'm included, is we're not okay with being different. You weren't made to be like everyone else. It's okay to stand out. As you stand out, learn to stand up for something. One of my favorite scriptures is Psalms 139:14, and it says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and your works are wonderful. I know that full well. You are here to be as amazing as you possibly can, because your playing small does not serve the world. It does not serve the world, okay? So make sure that you become comfortable being different. Do something different. Stand out. Step outside the box. I remember I waxed all of my hair off, and I just walked in the church, and people were just like, oh my God, is she on her period? What's wrong? And I said, hey, it's just hair. I'm not a slave to my hair anymore. And then you know what happened? Certain women start cutting their hair off too. Do you know why? Because there are women out there. There are women who want what you have. They want to be you. They want your intellect, and they even want your boo. But guess what? They can't have it. It's like a older lady I know named Miss Linda. She would say, if you can beat me rocking, you can have my chair. In other words, I already know who I am, so you can step up, but you're going to end up giving up, because I'm often imitated, but never emulated. So you need to pop your own collar for today, okay? Saying hello to all of my Facebook friends. So number 2, the reason why we underestimate our value as women is because we're people pleasers. Whatever I need to do to make you happy, if that means denying the fact that I am gorgeous, if that means dumbing down, a lot of women will do that. Sometimes we dumb down to just, go along to get along. And you cannot be authentically who you are. You are not made to be that way. Your DNA is very, very different. When I touch my phone, I have a certain fingerprint. And in order to access my checking account or my phone, it has to match my fingerprint. You can pick up my phone, honey, and nothing else is going to happen. So let's stop with all this underestimating your value. You say things like, oh, it was nothing. Yes, it was something. You made a sacrifice. You set your tail in that class. You did whatever it took to raise those children. You did whatever it takes. You continue to do whatever it takes to get ahead. You understand that there are people in your life that you tried to count on, but eventually you have to count them out. And if you still around, baby, you are important. See, your value means you come up and you shape different things. There's a scripture that talks about a salt. We're like the salt of the earth. We shape flavor all over the place. But if we're like everybody else, then what will change? So when you walk into a room just as cool as you please, as Dr. Maya Angelou would say, and you stand, the men stand up and they swarm around you like a hive of honeybees. Honey, that is a reason for that, because you are valuable. Number 3, the reason some of us underestimate our value is because we don't want to be rejected. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and you weren't meant to be. I'm going to say that again. You were not meant to be everybody's cup of tea, and you weren't meant to be. Rejection, think about this, is rejection is God's protection. There are certain places you want to be, but you shouldn't be. And so if you walking on, something happens where you have to move on. Maybe he's disrespecting you. Maybe, here's the thing, you're disrespecting yourself. Stop underestimating your value because so-and-so didn't want you. Have you ever thought about the fact, lady, that you are the prize? That he that findeth a good thing findeth favor? He has favor from the Lord. He didn't say he that just goes and gets a girlfriend. A good thing. Have you put in the time and the commitment to change your narrative, to change who you are, to change the end of your story? Well, then you need to celebrate that. You need to celebrate that. Stop apologizing when somebody gives you a compliment. You downplay it. Oh, this whole thing. No, this whole thing, you look really wonderful in that thing. And have you when you get around other queens are not going to just allow you to hold your head down. They're going to hold you up and help you straighten out your crown. So when you underestimate, you're saying, no, I'm not all that. Yes, you are all that. I can't help it that somebody dropped you. I can't help it that somebody is jealous of you. They need to take it up with God. He made you that way. Take it up with God. He made you that way. The other thing, if you've gone through a divorce like I have and you bounce back better, not bitter, honey, I don't have to explain anything to anyone. I don't need you to validate me. I don't even need you to celebrate me. It's nice if you do, but I have lived long enough to say, I am okay, honey, if you look the other way. Did you hear what I said? You got to learn to be okay when they look the other way. And you need to stand up in all of your authenticity. You understand? Understand that sometimes you come on a scene and a person doesn't even know how to recognize value. So therefore, they can't appreciate you. They don't know how to recognize value, so therefore they can't appreciate you. I remember a story of someone going to an Asian woman's store, and they saw this little stool, and the person thought it was for them to sit on, and the lady said, no, honey, you don't sit on that. This is for A, B, and C. See, sometimes people don't know how to treat you because they can't recognize a good thing. You know, back in the day when we were kids and we had our boyfriends and they would go and buy us, those gold-plated necklaces. Mm-hmm. And we thought it was all good until we put it in the water when we took a shower. And that thing started turning green and everything like that. And see, to the skilled eye, you know real gold when you see it because you've studied it. You've exposed yourself to that. There are certain things in your life that you're going to expose yourself to that will increase your value. See, when you step on the scene, when I go to a job and people ask me, well, Delores, what can you bring to the table? First of all, you already knew I could bring something to the table or you would not have called me in the first place. Excuse my braid, honey. And you got to keep it moving. You got to keep it moving. I am here to let you know how you will be better as a result of me being in your life, not because I'm arrogant, but because I am finally convinced that God started a good work in me. And honey, I took a licking and I can keep on ticking. That's called a Timex watch. I know some of y'all rolling around with the Rolexes, but before the Rolex, honey, it was a Timex. You have gone through that divorce. You went through that job loss. You even lost a loved one. Coronavirus has tested our faith. Some people have lost loved ones and some people have lost their faith. But you are here and you are still standing and you don't owe anyone an explanation. Stop apologizing for being wonderful. If you're in a place like that little swan that people thought was an ugly duck, baby, you need to change environment. Sometimes you have to change your address. I hope you change your underwear, honey, because that is not cute, okay? But remember what I'm saying. There are 3 reasons why we as women underestimate our value. Number 1, you're not okay with being different. Why? Go back and find out. Write it down, and then we're going to challenge it. Number 2, you are a people's pleaser. You will only do what everybody else wants you to. If you wear red and they say you look good, then you're going to keep wearing red. I remember I was feeling some kind of way, and I was talking to one of the Fly Nubian Queens, Dr. Shauna, and I was asking her to critique me as I was on and the subject matters. And she said, Delores, I don't know if you're Delores Jones, the comeback coach, you're Delores Jones, your son's mother, you're Delores Jones, the praise and worship person. Who are you? Because I was switching. One day I was being bold. The next minute I was being shy. The next minute I was critiquing myself and I was regretting that I said that. And I went back and I started racing, my videos. Because why? I was trying to please the church folk. I wanted to dot the I's and cross the T's like the good old church lady. But listen, I am saved by grace. Okay? And I am waking every morning by grace. Mercy diagnoses the situation, but grace fills the prescription. Okay? All right, somebody, don't make me do it because today is Saturday and tomorrow is Sunday. But listen to what I'm saying to you. So as Dr. Shauna and I were talking, she asked me this question. She said, so Delores, When are you going to stop kissing everybody's ass? And I was like, oh, clutch my pearls. Did she just say ass? And I said, well, I wanted to be like Michelle Obama. I wanted to be like Oprah Winfrey, but be like Iyanla. And she said, Dolores. I said, she's never cursed. And she said, Dolores, that is an artificial environment. You don't know what Michelle Obama does when she's at home with Barack. And in fact, after she left the White House, remember she was on stage and she was doing her tour about becoming. And someone said, well, can you have it all? And these were her words. I quote, she says, that shit don't work. That was Michelle Obama. And all of a sudden the news headlines was like, oh my God, Michelle Obama said that shit don't work. Now see, some of y'all be like, she ain't saved. But it has nothing to do with me being saved. It has something to do with me becoming the woman God has already said I am to be. I am fearfully and I am wonderfully made. And if people don't like it, they need to build a bridge and what? And get over it. So do me a favor. The next time you start to underestimate who you really are, shut the hell up. You know why? Because if God says that you're fearfully and wonderfully made, who are you to argue with the Creator? And if someone else comes up to you who did not make you, who is not your manufacturer, why would you accept what they say over what God says? These are questions I want you to answer. Sometimes your insecurity is rooted in past relationships. Can you believe I have been divorced for over, my son is now 21. I will be divorced for over 16 years. And at one point, I was still trying to prove to my husband, he was my husband, I was still trying to prove to him that I was good enough. Because he said to me, you're not a good mother. And he said all these other things. And I took it as gospel. Why? Because I didn't know how to trust myself. You have to learn to trust yourself. You are not a perfect person. We are imperfect beings being used by an almighty God. And somebody needs you to show up. I heard someone say it like this. It doesn't need to be perfect. People are hurting. See, I could have said, I'm not going to go on here because my hair keeps falling in my face. And believe it or not, some people had an attitude about me messing with my hair. Honey, people will say anything. But what I need them to know is change the channel. I need you to get the message. I need you to chew the meat and throw away the bones. I need you to understand that sometimes your preference has nothing to do with your value. There are people who prefer women who are petite and cut and have a big butt. But then there's some people who want somebody who's fat, pretty hot and tempting. That's their preference. Don't allow somebody's preference to become your problem. I prefer scrambled eggs. You may want them over easy. You may want your eggs boiled. At the end of the day, it's still an egg. So no matter how you show up, you are still a woman. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You are still a woman. And it is not your job to convince anybody that you are. It is your job to walk it out. To walk it out. So when you walk into a room, they're like, oh my God, who is she? People do that. Why? Because you are favored. Somebody lied to you, honey. You are somebody. You are incredible. Yes, somebody said, I needed this. And I hope that you'll come back for more of this. I'm Delores Jones, the comeback coach, the author of the book, Stop the Dumb Stuff. And I go into conversations about things like this because dumb means destructive, unsettling, miserable behavior. Why would you continue to do that? Why would you continue to walk out or live on a script? See, in life, you get to rewrite the script. Now think about it. God is the producer and he is also the director. Now you are the actor. But do you know your lines? And when I say your lines, you know what the word says about you. Come on, somebody, I felt something deep. And if I had some money, I'd make it rain on myself, honey. Okay. But usually when a movie is done, they shoot the ending first. And then they go back and they fill in all the other scenes to conclude with the ending. And if God says, not if, since, because that's what it means in the Greek. If means since God is for me, who can be against me? Since God said, my latter days shall be greater than my past, who am I to argue with the divine? So stop arguing with yourself. Get your butt out of the way. Get all of those limitations out of the way. Stand in your authenticity. I need you. We need you. There's stories that you have that could save somebody's life. I remember sharing a story about myself on television. I was all pretty and proper, but there was a time I was homeless and broke down, dealing with mental health issues, honey. Buried my mom, been through this, been through that, been choked, been punched, kicked, and abused. But when I stood back up in my essence, in the strength that God has given me, because I am his child, it is my right. I have an inheritance. You don't get to vote me in. The bloodline put me in. And a young woman said, that woman on TV? You mean she went through all of that? And she's still here? Well, I changed my mind. I'm not going to commit suicide. And I hope that I have interrupted your story, because I am not coming to your pity party, drinking your pity punch, listening to your pitiful stories. It is over. The only place that your past lives is in your mind. And if it's over, it's over. It's like, take some of that filth and all that hurt that you've been in, write it down, rip it up, put it in the toilet, flush the stool, or rip it up, rip it, and put it in the trash. And when the trash man comes and he takes it away, are you going to run down the street after the stinky trash? No. Do you? Okay. I want you to treat the mistakes the same way. I want you to treat the bad words that were spoken to you the same way. It's trash. Anything that is not true, it is trash. Dispose of that trash. Let the trash man pick it up and keep moving your butt. It's time to play bigger. Stop playing small. I'm Delores Jones, and I'm counting on you. I want to see you win. That's why I am willing to be here. Will you come back and be with me? Make sure that you go ahead and pick up my book called Stop the Dumb Stuff. If you're liking my flavor and all of this, you can go to DeloresJones.com and get that book. I'll send it right to you. If you have an event that you want me to speak at, then you can go to my page, DeloresJones.com. We'll hook that up. I'm looking forward to seeing you again really, really soon, okay? Share the love, click, tag, and share. This is your first time, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification button, and then you'll know when I'm live and I'm on and I'm ready to talk the real deal. I want you to bounce back better, not bitter. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are more powerful than you think. You are somebody. And that says it, as Forrest Gump would say. And that's all I got to say about that.